Shalom is your first foremost unique of all praises, all honor and all glory to Yahweh Shem Shai, Bashem Gakadash, amongst the apostles, Nels Great Millstone for teaching us this truth, peace, and blessings to the hope like of Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the unfailing Hebrew, Bashem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back in the lesson, and today, going to tell Esau Edom is hurt over Jacob being better than him. And if you don't know already, Jacob got his name changed to Israel after wrestling with an angel. So speaking of the 12 tribes, which consist of the so-called African Americans, Latinos, Native Americans, and so on. But gonna read this quick caption from this video, which I'm about to get. It says, man on TikTok goes off about how there's no white person on the U.S. basketball Olympic team, so he's hurt that none of his people is on one of the best teams, in the world, which, consists of, Jake, Israelites, and he's mad that none of his people are, in the midst of that team. He's mad that Jake is once again, pretty much, taking over. As Jake, everything that they touch, they bring that flavor. Jake is the salt of the earth. Jake exceeds and outperforms any of these other nations, especially speaking of Esau, Edom, which is also scriptural. As you get in the scriptures, goes into how, two nations are in thy womb, and one nation shall be stronger than the other people. That nation being stronger is the nation of Israel, man. But I do want to play this quick video right here, get it out of the way, get a couple scriptures. But you also see similar situations like this, even done with the movies where you have Jake now being selected, for lead roles, for main characters in certain movies. And you'll have these devils who go out on the internet making posts, of their frustration, how angry they are, that they changed, certain characters to be so-called black and this and that. These devils are mad, But gonna get this out the way, get a couple scriptures, and Lord's will be edifying and to the point. So let's dive right into it.
Not a single white person was selected to be on the men's 2024 basketball team for the Olympics. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Only when it suits you. Not a...
You see how mad he is.
Not a single white person was selected to be on the men's 2024 basketball team for the Olympics. Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
And hey, Jake is just better, man. And hey, it's in the scriptures, how the Lord has a favorite and special people that he especially chose to be above all nations that are upon the face of the earth. And that's why you see Jake always pretty much overtaking anything that they touch. As you see within the music, the sports, art, acting, whatever the case may be. Jake brings that flavor. And as salt is a flavor enhancer. And Jake brings that, man. That's why you see these other nations try to copy and mimic everything that we do. They want to be like us, man. Even in this lowest state, this low position that we are in now, they still want to be like us. And the fact that Jake is still, overtaking and just doing better than these other nations, especially speaking of Esau, Edom, within these other things, the sports, the music, just to go to show how special of a people, we are, man. And that Jake is. And as we can get right here in the scriptures. Now, this is book of Deuteronomy 14:2. And honestly, I could probably get Deuteronomy 7:6 first, just to have that in order. But it's Deuteronomy 7:6, and it says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. And Yahweh Bashem has a favorite people. The Lord's not dealing with these other nations as he is with Israel, man. For thou art holy people unto the Lord thy God. Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. A special people, man. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So the Lord has a favorite people, and he chose them to be above all nations, man. Deuteronomy 14:2. And what's in these devils are mad that Jake is taking over, man. And ultimately, they're slowly losing their kingdom. A shift in power is slowly taking place. As you get in the scriptures, how Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. And how the kingdom shall be translated from one people to another. Who's the kingdom going to be translated to? It's like, who's the kingdom going to be translated to? Israel, man. Deuteronomy 14:2. Now says, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord had chosen to be a special, to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. So proving that point even more. Now we're going to get book of Genesis, 25th chapter, which, as I brought up earlier, dealing with those two nations in thy womb. Going back to the title, E is mad that Jacob is better. Now it says, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. Those 2 nations being, Esau and Jacob, 2 separate nations. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people. What's the one people that is stronger? Israel, the 12 tribes. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Who came out first? Esau. So he's going to serve us, man, very, very soon. Because you will have these heathen nations going into captivity, especially for the things that they have done. And as you get in Revelation, the 13th chapter, 10th verse, he that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. But let's get a couple more scriptures. Just want to make a quick hit through the spirit, going to that video right there, because he is mad. He is hurt, man. It's 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. It says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who had called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. But the main point going to that chosen people, man. That chosen generation. Once again, chosen people. As we got in Deuteronomy 14, Deuteronomy 7. A special people, man, that the Lord is dealing with. Now we got a couple more. It's Matthew 5 and 13 through 14. One of the points I brought up earlier, I said, ye are the salt of the earth. And Jake is that salt, man. And I said, brought that point once again, how salt is a flavor enhancer. Jake brings that flavor, man. You also have this one kind of joke or meme that people like to say that if there's a party and so-called black people are not there, or just dealing with our people, if they're not there, they won't know part of it, because it would be boring, man. Jake livens things up, man. Especially our people that are mingled in the midst of these heathen nations. You can tell and pick them out apart from the rest, that they are different from them. By the way, the spirit, the spirit bears witness that they are the nation of their Jake. Because there's a certain spirit that resides in Jake that you can tell that they are different, that they are special, man. Because you have some of our people that are in the midst of those heathen nations that may look like them, but are the nation of Israel. But as you also do have many scriptures going to the scattering, the diaspora, the dispersion of our people. So you have many Israelites that are in the midst of these different lands. Just wanted to add on to that point where you have Jake in the midst of the lands, and how you can tell and pick them out apart from the rest, that they are different, that they're special. Because Jake is the salt of the earth, they cannot be hid. Which you get in the 14th verse, but I'm going to read the 13 one more time. So ye are the salt of the earth, but the salt hath lost its savor. Wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. Verse 14, I said, ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. So you can't be hid, man. You can tell that when they're Jake, by the way, the spirit. Now they're about their point. There's a certain spirit that resides in Jake. You can tell that they are special, that they're different. This is Job 30 and 8, separating them from these other nations. And this right here, speaking of Esau, Edom, and how he is the lowest of the low. Now it says they were children of fools, children of base men. As the base is the lowest part, the start of something, the bottom of the bottom, and that's just devil for you, man. Yet he has his God complex. And on the other hand, he'll say, it's all about equality, this and that, we're the same, and all these different things. Yet, he has a God complex thinking he's better than us. But that's not the case, because we proved by the way of the scriptures, how Lord has a favorite and special people, and that's Jacob and Israel. They're 12 tribes. And you see right here, he's the lowest of the low. This devil is the ultimate liar, man. He's not to be trusted in any case. But they were children of fools, he had children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Going to show how wicked and just atrocious this devil is, how Esau is. When you get in the book of Malachi, the first chapter, it really goes into how he is, called and named the border of wickedness, man. You know how wicked you got to be to be called the wicked? There's Psalms 147 and 20. I said, he had not dealt so with any nation. The Lord's not dealing with these other nations as he is with Israel, man. And we're seeing as we got through many scripts, the Lord has a favorite and special people that he chose to be above all nations. He had not dealt so with any nations. He also is getting the scriptures. You know how he had these heathen nations, come up against us to keep us in this lowest state, this low position that we're in now. Let's get that. Let's come together. All right, this is Psalms 83. Get the full chapter for this real quick. Now, start off with verse 2. Might as well read verse 1. But to keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. Verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Verse 4, main point. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So you have these nations come together to go against us, man. Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. So they're in agreement. That's why you're also going to have these nations pay for things that they have done, because they also played a role in our captivity. And they're going to pay for things that they have done. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And it also lists off these heathen nations. The tabernacles of Edom, so-called white people, and the Ishmaelites, so-called Arabs, of Moab, the so-called Chinese, and the Hagarians, list off many more. So I just wanted to get that point right there. This is Psalms 147 and 20. It says, he has not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. Now let's get another scripture. It's Isaiah 40 and 15. As a behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket. Adding to that point, as we're right there, how the Lord's not dealing with these other nations, man. Behold, the nation as a drop of a bucket, and they are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. So these nations are nothing to the Lord. They're just background characters, man. This is the NLT. Now says, no, for all the nations of the world are but a drop in the bucket. They are nothing more than dust on the scales. And you won't have any of these people in these churches going to this, man. They're nothing more than dust on the scales. He picks up the whole earth as though it were a grain of sand. But you got the point right there. I just want to make a quick lesson. Go into that video as we just played. Done with, Esau being mad that, none of his people were chosen to be on, one of the best teams, in the world. And I believe that the Olympic team, consists of just Jake. Even in this lowest state, we still have, that influence, for lack of better words. You have these nations wanting to be like us, copy and mimic the things that, we do. The way we move, the way we talk, and all that stuff, man. But you got the point, Slack broke record certain points, but the Lord's will, I tight points together the best of my ability, and you're edified to do and close out and give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Shah, Bashem Kakadash, the the apostles, Nelson Milson for teaching us truth, peace, and blessings to the hope of the Israel. Shalom. See you next one, Lord's will.